The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, everybody, welcome to our webinar. This is an update today of progress in Naturewalk. What's been happening in Naturewalk, what's currently happening in Naturewalk, and what the future of Naturewalk is, and what's currently happening in 2014. So the primary person hosting the webinar today will be Tim Alexander, the president of Naturewalk Brands, and hopefully Tim is on the line. I'm just going to quick sound check and check that Tim is there. Hi Tim, can you hear me? Are you there? Hi Tim, are you there? Okay, so we're having a small problem getting Tim on the line. Tim, if you could hi Tim, it's problem with the sound here. Tim, can you hear me?
James, can you hear me?
Yes. Tim, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me okay? Okay, sorry. Small difficulty happening. Everybody.
Hi everybody, and welcome to our webinar. Apologies for the slight delay. We had a small technical difficulty there, but hopefully we're up and running now, and we'll get the webinar started. So apologies again for that delay. Our webinar today basically is an update on everything that has happened over the last recent period in Naturewalk, everything that's currently happening in Naturewalk, and of course what is going to happen and what's scheduled to happen for 2014 in Naturewalk. Now, for those of you who perhaps haven't attended a webinar before, the methodology is that I'll be doing the talking, or the initial talking, and then Tim Alexander, the president of Naturewalk, will take over, and Tim will host the update really on Naturewalk and tell us more about what's happening. So I'm just going to do a very quick test with Tim just to check that he's online and that he can be heard. Well, actually, he's not online at the moment, but we can get started with the webinar. And as soon as Tim joins in, we can hand over to Tim. The first part of the webinar is for me anyway. So, of course, everybody knows that over the past couple of years, there has been quite a global downturn. And Costa Rica, as you're probably all aware, is very closely related in many ways to the US market and to the Canadian market, very dependent on tourism, and the majority of tourists come from the US and Canada. And of course, property prices and the property market in Costa Rica is strongly tied in as a direct result to the property market in Canada and the property market in the USA. Now, in 2013, what we've seen is that the property market, particularly in the US, has started to recover very strongly. Some of the numbers that are out there, 88% of US cities are now showing house price increases, I should say, in 2013. As a result of that, there's been a very large number of visitors, tourist visitors to Costa Rica, 2.4 million in 2013. That's the largest number of tourists ever to visit Costa Rica. And that was a 3.6% increase over 2012, which prior to 2013 had the largest number of visitors ever. So Costa Rica is certainly very popular and becoming more so. As you can see, in some of the areas, the beaches are getting pretty crowded. With the global downturn, of course, we did see property drops in Costa Rica. Many areas, property prices fell, and particularly in what they call up-and-coming areas. There were some very steep price drops in those areas, and that, of course, reiterates the old saying when it comes to property. There are three important things, and that's location, location, and location, because in the areas with very good locations in Costa Rica, the top locations, property prices really didn't fall as badly as in the up-and-coming locations. But with the upturn in tourism to Costa Rica, with the upturn in the global market generally, we're seeing larger numbers of people visiting Costa Rica, and we're seeing a recovery in property prices, a strong recovery in property prices. And this is very much tied into how people are feeling in the US and Canada, because of course they're feeling much wealthier now. Their own properties in the US and Canada have recovered in price, and so they're feeling wealthier, and they want to have second homes, they want to have holiday homes, they want to have holiday villas. Some people just simply want to get out and move to Costa Rica full-time. So we're seeing strong property price recovery in Costa Rica at the moment. Apocryphal evidence, although we have no numbers on it, talking to people involved in tourism in Costa Rica, 2014 looks like being an even bigger year than 2013 was. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand over to Tim Alexander. Tim is the president of Naturewalk, and Tim is going to give us an update on what has been happening in Naturewalk, what's currently happening in Naturewalk, and what the future holds for Naturewalk. So Tim, can you hear me? Are you online? Hello, Tim.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Tim.
Hello.
Hi, Tim. Yes,
You can? Okay,
yes,
great.
we can hear you.
Okay, there must be a little bit of interference going on, and I'm hoping it's not too choppy. James, I don't seem to have the control panel up on my screen, so I'm just going to ask you to change the slides as we go along. Anyway, welcome everyone, in spite of the technical difficulties. Very happy to be here and very happy to be talking to you about Naturewalk. You know, as the first slide you saw suggests, Naturewalk really became a butterfly in 2013. And things really moved along, even though, as James has mentioned, we still had the hang of global recession, and in particular the Costa Rica recession going on. We decided to concentrate on some very, very specific goals, and you know, we very, very happy with what transpired and what we were able to achieve in 2013. So this year, in 2014, we expect to see accelerated progress with Naturewalk, with the recovery, with more people coming back to Costa Rica. We definitely expect to add that to our own momentum. And figuratively, you know, we expect to see this butterfly really get up and fly this year. So with that, in 2013, we opened some significant departments and units in Naturewalk, and really what transpired is really describe everything that we were up to at Naturewalk. And we made a change corporately to the new name, Naturewalk Brands. And that basically signifies really all the progress that we made in 2013. So let's take a look at a few things that happened in 2013. We decided to concentrate very much on the agricultural overlay portion of Naturewalk, realizing that with the agriculture comes the benefits, multiple benefits of employment in the area, cash flow to fund activities, the whole aesthetic backdrop of Naturewalk has to do with agriculture in its, you know, very yes, and really, if anything, if we were to point to a highlight in 2013 above all, it was really to provide that lasting agricultural product overlay for Naturewalk. So the first one speaks to taro and tequisque and puppuccino. All of these were planted and harvested in 2013. We exported some of this product to the United States and sold into the local markets successfully. We got very active in the vanilla part of the operation. We had planted a test nursery of vanilla in the teak last year, and that was in 2013 in the early part, and through the year we basically proved up the ability to, at the end of the year, our first commercial plantings of vanilla. So we're now a commercial grower of vanilla, and we see this as a continuing and enlarging enterprise, which both supports the agricultural part of our program, but it also supports the tourist part of our program, because we see the ability, great ability to attract tourists, to sell them vanilla and do vanilla tours. So that happened, and a lot of irrigation infrastructure went in 2013 and is now operating to provide dry season crops, so to support our production and, you know, a potential in the future tourism activity all year round. So that also will happen. James, hello. Next slide. We also saw the beginning of the Naturewalk Craft Village, the Woodcraft Village, and we started construction on that production facility last year, and it's just being finished in 2014 as we speak, and we expect to enter production in the next 2 weeks. That facility was started with the idea that we could employ local population. We could use the teak in the future because we're not ready to harvest it yet, but we can use it in the future, and we'll have an industry on site ready to receive it. And we've always talked about the idea of value add, not shipping this off to produce a valuable items on site and ship these. So we have our first orders from the United States, and we'll start shipping in the next 3 months. It's a very important component for us, as I'll speak a little bit to later. We started a full-time topographer and engineering unit formed to work on Naturewalk, to define our lots, create lots, design roads, and get into the infrastructure component of Naturewalk. So this is probably one of our more expensive and supporting units at Naturewalk right now, as we're doing all of this work kind of behind the scenes to get ready to start building the infrastructure for Naturewalk. We also completed a transaction on the Naturewalk. We haven't heard about this, but it has houses, stables, barn. It's a future building area. We have a building under renovation for a Naturewalk packing center, and for incubator businesses that we're planning to do here in 2014. So that's again things that happened in 2013. Next slide, please. So let's take pictures are worth 1,000 words. Here's some pictures at Naturewalk of some of the activity in 2013. The left slide shows tequisque planting on the hillsides at Naturewalk. Tequisque is a root crop. It's like a tropical potato, for those who are not aware. And into the planting of it and the growing of it. And we're just starting to see it come up, and it looks very tropical, as you can tell. On the right, Papachino, it's another root crop. It's like a yam, similar to yam, and we're intercropping this with taro, which is another form of root crop. Many people who have been to Hawaii know about taro. Tequisque, this a little further along from what you saw in the first slide, and you can see this. This becomes an amazing verdant field of carpet of green and large leaves, but all the action's really taking place underneath the soil. Next slide. Well, this is what happens underneath the Tequisque. Our ag manager for root crops, and this particular day we were testing to see if the tequisque was ready to harvest, and lo and behold, what you're looking at there is very large tequisque. That's one plant producing probably that particular plant 3 to 5 kilos, and all export quality, first quality tequisque. Next slide. The farm center went right into operation, and in this particular slide you're looking at tequisque that's sold and about to be loaded, and they're weighing each individual bag to determine the overall weight of the shipment and payment for it. So as it's loaded. A couple more pictures. On the left, at Giske seed party to prepare the seeds for planting. Right back to the beginning, local residents and farm workers all pitch in for this was over a 3-day period to prepare the Tequisque for planting. And the other end of the spectrum, you're seeing
Hello. Unfortunately, we seem to have lost the connection to Tim there, so I'm going to slightly take over just for a moment or two until we get Tim back on the line. Tim, can you hear us now? No, we seem to have lost him for the moment. Unfortunately, his internet connection seems to have given some difficulty. But Tim will join in as. Oh, hi, Tim, you're back. Sorry, do you want to take over?
yes. So the slide has changed. What I'm seeing on my screen is our ayote being processed at the farm center. This is another crop from a neighboring farm, and this is a crop that we will plant in the next couple of weeks. It looks like a pumpkin, and again, this is all being packaged for export to the United States, and in this particular case, we're processing it for these people at the Naturewalk Farm Center. This really has to do with a discussion about the packing center. We'll have in a new slide. To move away from the agricultural root crops and field crops, we just mentioned in here, we mentioned before about vanilla, and so you're just looking at some pictures. For everyone not too familiar with it, vanilla is a natural crop, actually, a natural plant, and there's 6 species of it that actually grow throughout the forest in Naturewalk. The one you're looking at on the left is called planifolia. That's the main commercial variety. You'll see Mexico, some of the top producers, Mexico, Madagascar, this is the type of vanilla that they grow. So you see that? The slide on the right, or the picture on the right, is Edgar Ruby. He's our manager of vanilla production. And he's showing you there some different cured vanilla. And there's actually 2 types there. One is planifolia, and the other one is Tetensi. Tetensi is a small leaf vanilla. It's the one in the foreground. And it's extremely valuable, and it's extremely gourmet. So those are the 2 types of vanilla that we're intending to grow at Naturewalk. We've already planted. Next slide, please. Oh, okay. So this is actually our Naturewalk nursery, the intercropping of teak. In fact, you'll see this vanilla is attached to a teak tree that's in the nursery. I asked our farm manager to go up. What it is really is quite an exciting event for us. This is the first flowering of the vanilla that we planted 10 months ago in the nursery, and this is actually coming into flowering, and this will turn into fruit. This will turn into vanilla beans, and can be, will be harvested. So very exciting event, but this is kind of the full circle coming about with regard to the vanilla and that intercropping that we've done at Naturewalk. Next slide. We also talked about irrigation improvements. What you're seeing here is a large irrigation reservoir being constructed at Naturewalk for the purpose of irrigation during the day, approximately 10 hectares of different root crops at Naturewalk during the dry season. You can change to the next slide. This is the same pool basically with the liner in it, and it's just actually getting filled with water. So this is it, and that's what they've been working on. Interesting slide, Walmart, Central America. They sell Tequisque throughout Central America. They're a customer of ours. And this is actually their buyer coming to the farm and looking at the quality of the Tequisque and very favorably impressed. Next slide. Center, and this is the center under construction, and they're just doing the electrical at this particular stage, and this has to do with the furniture and some other things that we'll talk about. More pictures of them installing electrical. So that was 2013, 2014 activities. We talked about the Naturewalk Farm Center, 2 homes, barns, stables, 80 hectares, and we are in the process of renovating that center. We should be able to accept our first visitors in April of 2014. People who have bought at Naturewalk, as well as people who are considering buying at Naturewalk, can use this to stay on site and experience Naturewalk, over the course of a day or several days. We're very excited about that. Packing center, we've spoken about that. Right now, you can see the trucks taking away the product, and it goes to an off-site packing center, quite a distance away, and it's packed and processed there and then sent out. We're under construction right now with our own packing center. We expect to have that working sometime in March, and in addition to creating local jobs, we're going to be able to pack our own produce, get better prices as a result, and have containers, 40-foot containers, come directly to Naturewalk to pick up the produce. Engineering house production. I alluded to this with regard to the craft center, woodworking center, and so it can produce furniture, but for us, another very important component is it can produce engineered housing. And for us, that's a tremendous benefit because we can stockpile, we can engineer stockpile our houses on site with very, very little time to erect. And we plan to do that this year. So our our focus will not only be on this furniture business, but on getting an inventory of engineered housing available for our buyers. And also we plan to put up some model homes ourselves using the same system. And I guess tent, hotel, and adventure center. Work's advancing on that, and particularly on the adventure center. So we're busy. We did a lot of work in 2013 on the adventure center in terms of preparing it, and there's more work going on right now. So let's take a look at a few pictures. The Adventure Center, its key driver, one of its key drivers is the Tulin River, and that borders Naturewalk. And there's one of our Adventure Center people out in the river actually scanning it for kayaking and canoeing. Horseback riding, another big driver for the Adventure Center and for Naturewalk. The equestrian part of Naturewalk is intrinsic really to the agricultural backdrop. And you're seeing one of our off-site being trained right now. Broken and basically trained. We expect that to move forward here and have active horse rides for the public. We had some in 2013, but really we're gearing up to go public with this really in the next month. This is one of the trail rides we had last year. You can see on the left, that's the Naturewalk River. And it's, of course, a beautiful ride. It's partially in the water. It's partially next to it. And, you know, it's just a very superior area for equestrian riding. Mountain biking, big mountain biking center. We'll be adding mountain bikes and mountain bike tours very soon. This is all organic. Very popular location because of its terrain and its hillsides and its gravel roads. Next. This is one of our future tour operators, and he's getting ready to jump on the Tulin with his canoe and go canoeing. Next. That's yours truly, out on the Tulin, kayaking. Much of what we did in 2013 was really testing different places for tours for the Adventure Center. This is our canoe guy going down one of the tributaries that come into the Tulin, which is a fast whitewater technical ride, canoe ride and kayak ride. So also on the horizon, we just want to mention a few things. One is the Naturewalk Alternate Energy Initiative. We are well advanced with the study of our biomass into gas for the generation of electricity for Naturewalk. And this is not only for Naturewalk, but for other customers. We're combining the use of state-of-the-art microturbines and fuel cells, and we're converting biomass by aerobic digestion, that's more or less rotting and fermentation control, into compost for agriculture as well as creating the gas itself. The primary feedstock for this is sugarcane. So you'll see adding that other uses for the sugar, including refineries and distilleries. We have a number of tourist-associated businesses that we expect to start up in 2014. One of them is Emily's Cheeses. We plan to create a gourmet cheese business and incubate it at one of the places in Naturewalk and then move it into the town center as a tourist attraction. So there's a couple of things that are on the go here. There's quite a few more. I just also want to make mention that Naturewalk has grown tremendously over the last year, and we have a number of new people working at Naturewalk. Junior Diaz, very experienced and skilled agricultural manager. Marcel Salmeron, route manager and the organic vanilla manager. John Bryant from England, special projects including the Woodcraft Center and land engineering. And I think we've got maybe one or two more on the next slide. Jose Morales, he's the head of the topography and engineering department, and Tim Ryan, who's joined us. If you've been tied into any of the blogs this year, you've seen Tim is a world adventurer, and you may have seen pictures of him in Morocco, in the Amazon this year, in Thailand. He's all over the world trekking, and he's starting a business here as part of the Adventure Center for Naturewalk. So those are a few. There are more. Quickly, Jose. Out in the field. Edgar, if you look down at his feet, there's some vanilla down there, and he's talking about different sized plants in our micro nursery. Marcial on the right is overlooking actually the planting, the preparing of the soil for tequisque in this particular shot. So we get to a reaffirmation of our overall goals, which haven't changed. They remain the same. We want to create a vibrant, agriculturally based, ecological community. We think international, a very interesting mix of people with a lot of different skills and a variety of interests. And we plan to be sustainable in food, energy, economic and job opportunities, both for the local community and for the residents of Naturewalk. We have many resident, future residents of Naturewalk that are very interested in different enriching activities at Naturewalk, and everyone's welcome. That speaks to the next one, enriching and challenging activities and amenities for our residents and tourists. And finally, advancing our social and environmental platform for the local community in the country of Costa Rica. And we're doing that, as you can see, every day. Naturewalk now employs 20 to 30 people, and donations from Naturewalk. And I'm just waiting for the slide to change. And yes, that's in the one-room school in Pavona at Naturewalk, and we've just gotten some great new computer and audio-visual equipment. So, I mean, this is a really rewarding part, and we're all very happy to be part of that. So that's the end of the presentation. Please come and visit us this year at Naturewalk, as it says on the slide. And
Okay, everybody, apologies. We've had occasional poor audio with Tim's presentation there. Unfortunately, the internet is maybe not as fast as it could be, so apologies for that. As Tim intimated, the farm centre will have accommodation up and running and hopefully in place next month. So everybody who wants to come and see Naturewalk and visit Naturewalk hopefully will be accommodated on site in Naturewalk, which will be a big step forward for Naturewalk. And of course, to keep up to speed on what's happening in Naturewalk, you can visit all of these various social media outlets that we have. There's the blog, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, YouTube. These are our Costa Rica Invest social media sites. They do cover Naturewalk extensively, and there's lots of information about Naturewalk there. One of our clients suggested that perhaps a forum on which clients and owners in Naturewalk could interact would be very useful, and we absolutely agree with that. And we've created a forum page on our Facebook page where clients of Naturewalk can interact. So if you go to the Costa Rica Invest Facebook page, there is a button at the top for forum, and you can post and discuss Naturewalk, what your plans are, what you plan to do, see what other people are planning to do, and perhaps get to know other people who are owners and investors in Naturewalk, and get to know what they're about and get to know them in advance of having your own home in Naturewalk. So it's there for those who want to interact on it. Of course, for those who don't want to interact on it, you don't have to, but it's there if you would like to. And of course, Naturewalk itself has its own magazine, blog, and flipboard, and these are excellent ways to keep up with what's happening in Naturewalk. And you can subscribe to these, and they provide automatic updates to your smartphone or to your computer, or you can log on to them daily. So all of those facilities are open to everybody as well. So that's our update for today. So thank you very much, Tim, for all of that super information. Apologies for the slightly delayed start, everybody. We did have a little bit of technical difficulty to begin with, and also apologies for the occasional poor sound quality. But thank you very much for attending, and I do hope that that has given everybody a good update of what has been happening in Naturewalk, what is happening in Naturewalk, and more importantly, the great future that is held for Naturewalk going forward. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a great weekend.